the birth of Seth and the beginning of a new story. In the previous verses, we saw Cain's violence, we saw the hardness of his descendants, and we saw how far Lamech's proud voice had gone. But now the narrative returns once again to Adam and Eve. Now we come to Genesis chapter 4, verses 25 and 26. The scripture says, "And Adam knew his wife again, and she bare a son, and called his name Seth. For God, said she, hath appointed me another seed instead of Abel, whom Cain slew. And to Seth, to him also there was born a son, and he called his name Enos. Then began men to call upon the name of the Lord." Here the text opens a different scene. After seeing a line marked by violence, pride, and hardness, the scripture returns to Adam and Eve, and in that return, Seth appears. Eve does not name him as just any son. She herself confesses that God has given her another son in place of Abel. That means that in the midst of pain, God keeps working. Death did not close the story. Sin did not extinguish God's purpose. Where Cain brought death, God raised up Seth in place of Abel. But the beauty of the text does not end with Seth. The scripture goes on and says that Seth also had a son, and called his name Enos. Then that precious phrase appears, "Then began men to call upon the name of the Lord." Here we are no longer looking at the voice of Lamech. Here we are no longer hearing human pride. Here we are seeing the beginning of a descendants who seek God, who call upon God, and who exalt the name of the Lord in the earth. God did not leave the earth handed over to Cain's violence. God reserved for himself a descendants. God raised up Seth in place of Abel, and with Seth began a generation that called upon the name of the Lord. After Abel's death came substitution. After the wound came God's response. After a hardened line began a story that sought the Lord. Later on, we will see how this descendants continues seeking God. The echo of the voice of God.